Welcome to our Griffin Tank Defense of the Plan. I want to welcome our guests here this afternoon and assure you we're going to have a very interesting afternoon. I want to apologize for the unusual configuration of the room. I'm sure you're aware we have our Christmas carol sing tonight, and they use this room. So in order to get this room to this afternoon, I had to sort of allow them to put the tables in. So it's a little different, but I'm sure we'll all be just fine. Okay. This past fall, the students divided up into groups and met with members of the Chestnut Hill Business Association along with other businesses and nonprofits in the area. After discussion, 5 students groups had consulted agreements. They actually consulted with businesses. The students met with them, learned about specific businesses, discussed the issues, and ultimately they're given directives as to what the businesses wanted. And you will hear today some of the ups and downs and problems that arose based upon those directives from the businesses. The student groups discussed various concepts, completed research, met with business owners to review, and they met with other business faculty. They met with Bill Rogers, they met with Lars, they met with Kim, they met with all of us to try and say, okay, what are we doing wrong here? How do we do it better? How do we think this through to really put together a good plan? I am really excited about the judges we have here today, so I'd like to introduce each of them. I have Pierre, and Pierre, I never say your name right. Could you say it? He is we do have a lot of graduates, Chestnut Hill graduates here today, and I purposely did that to help celebrate our 100-year anniversary. Pierre is a 2022 graduate, majored in business administration and accounting, got his MBA in data analytics. He won Griffin Tank back in 2022 with Stadium Sprint, so be careful the questions he'll ask you. And he's currently employed as a senior communications manager at Walmart. And I just found this out. He is bilingual in English and Haitian Creole. That was pretty cool. Laura Hahn Carroll, and where is Professor Carroll? So for my class, who I say, this is the wife of Professor Carroll, that's Professor Carroll. We all love. But let me tell you about Laura. She has a BS in biology. She's been the director of business-to-business sales and events at Insomnia Cookies, and she did bring some for everyone to share today. She has over 10 years experience in sales, catering, events, and customer service, and she seems to consistently exceed all her targets. She's co-director of Camp Celiac in Rhode Island and is a cross-cultural solutions volunteer, which is really pretty cool. Then we have Kent and Lori Griswold. Kent is a serial entrepreneur whose first enterprise was starting a summer camp at age 14. I love telling that story. He is the founder and producer of The Wolf Pack, which our class watched, and introduced Wall Street, a board game, and founder of Zord Games, and introduced Wall Street, a board game where one takes on a role of investor trying to beat out their fellow investors to be crowned the king of Wall Street. He was the former president and CEO of Griswold Home Health Care and is on numerous boards. Lori Griswold, I always say, is his better half, and she is a nationally known policy analyst, gerontologist, and aging issues coach. She serves as a consultant in long-term care and compliance and has worked with Fortune 500 and government agencies on pre-retirement planning, and she's authored articles, and she's on various boards. And on a personal note, I really need to say this, we would not have our MBA program that we now have today if not for the insight, advice, and mentorship of Lori and Kent. I cannot thank you enough for how you helped me put that together. I have Loretta McLaughlin. She is the former Chief Financial Officer of the Sisters of Mercy, former Chief Operating Officer for McGee Rehabilitation. She's also been employed at Arco Chemical as a management consultant. She is a member of our Business Advisory Council and another Chestnut Hill alumnus. Alphonse isn't here yet, but Alphonse is another CHC alum, and he is co-founder of the clinic and clinician of Brightside Medical Associates. I have Luis Perez, another CHC alumnus, who is, he got his degree in International Business Language and Culture. He is a senior client associate at JP Morgan Chase. Those of you here that are looking at finance, you've got Luis, you've got Kent. Guys, you need to network. And while it's Chestnut Hill, is vice president and co-founder of La Vox Latina. Then we have Lorraine Riviello. Lorraine is Rivello. I'm sorry. I always do it wrong. I am sorry. Lorraine Rivello. She is also a Chestnut Hill graduate. She, with a major in math, which I can't understand anyone majoring in math, she completed executive education programs at Harvard, Emory, and the University of Pennsylvania, and she's a retired executive from the IBM Corporation. She also is a member of our business council. And then we have a very interesting individual, Christopher Civil. Did I say it right? He is a Chestnut Hill alumnus, but not from business, from communications. Am I correct? Communications. And he is the Deputy Director of Communications for the New Jersey Senate Republican Office. So his thought process is very different than our business. So I'd be very interested in the questions he asked you all today. So we have a very impressive group of judges with extensive experience. They have all reviewed your plans. They've come prepared to question each group. So, slideshow from beginning. Our next, whoops, hold on, come on, Borzella, is Gravers Lane Gallery. We're keeping in the theme of artistic expression. We have Benjamin, Evan, and Sean.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation, created by Sean Levan, Evan Farlow, and myself, Ben Brott. So the business that we consulted with throughout the semester was Gravers Lane Gallery. Gravers Lane Gallery is a small to medium-sized art gallery located on Germantown Avenue, just up the street. It's a small to medium-sized art gallery because they sell products in jewelry anywhere from $100 to $14,000, as well as art pieces from $500 on the small side to $40,000, which I think is a chandelier that they hang right in the middle of the gallery. Throughout this semester, we worked with Kate and Chloe, who were two assistant directors at the gallery. They were super friendly people. However, we felt that our ideas conflicted many times throughout the process. However, in the end, we did find it as a positive learning experience and something to look back on when we move up the world in the business world. It's important to note that we were not given financial statements throughout this time, so our presentation does not reflect direct financials, but it gives a good idea of what can happen in the future. So the basis of what we did throughout the semester came in the creation of this Excel sheet, which has art fairs on it. So the Excel sheet has about 14 or 15 art fairs, ranging anywhere from Florida to New York and I think New Orleans. So throughout the creation of the Excel sheet, there's a bunch of different categories, such as the name of the art fair, application links, pictures of the type of art that is displayed, because that's important with the new implementation of digital art and NFTs, as well as shipping costs, and it's also highlighted with certain colors, with red being bad, green being good, and gray being neutral in shipping costs and location. So in the end of this process, we concluded that Jewelry Week New York City, which is located at the top, it might be small to see on the TV, but we thought that was a good idea because it focuses only on jewelry and is located in New York City. So what this does is it minimizes shipping costs because it's really close to New York City and they don't have to rent a U-Haul or another shipping device to bring in all their big projects and all their $40,000 chandeliers. And another thing we were really excited about was the implementing of a virtual reality tour on their website. So what this would do is it would allow anybody with a laptop or a smartphone to be virtually inside the gallery. So there would be two different views. It would be the one above with a 360 view, really wide, and then the second one would be kind of impersonating like a person's eye view that's inside the gallery. So what this would do is, on the website, if the people who do not know what type of art they are trying to sell, it allows them to see the space, see what type of art they are selling, as well as, which is super important, see price tags of the art, because to this day, they do not want to put price tags on the website, which is something they were very adamant about, and it's something that we said that they should do, and is super important because why make art hard to sell? It doesn't make sense. It's also super feasible, It's also super feasible because this can be created in 1 to 3 days, and if you want to hire a company to do it, it only costs about $100 to $300.
Just like with the virtual tour for the website, like Ben just said, there's no prices. So personally, if like I see something I like and I know it's artwork, knowing from their history that they sell really expensive things, my first guess would be it's going to be super expensive. Probably can't afford it. And then adding the 3D images with like the virtual tour in the website, you could allow it to like see it in your home. Like I got the idea from Zillow. They allow that, and you can use your phone, whatever, or a laptop and throw the photo, whatever it is, and see it in your like personalized space, which I thought was pretty smart. Another thing we tried to focus on with them, and it didn't really work out, was trying to improve on their social media. Like, Kate was their social media person. She ran like the Facebook, the Instagram, and all that, but it was very bland. No like specialized content around the artwork that they sell. It was just very like black and white. So some ideas we brought along was like maybe doing like live streams while they have their First Fridays. First Friday is like an event they hold every Friday, first Friday of the month. And we figured they could do live stream tours, meet and greets of the artists who created the piece, and just like trying to get their work out there. Because one thing they struggle with is the art fairs are so far away, like they don't really do anything. So we figured strengthening your social media presence would be a better idea than trying to spend 30 grand for travel fees and all this to go sell your actual art. And then networking. So on, I think it's Germantown Ave, they have like these block parties every once in a while. And I used to live in Germantown, so you could never get through. It's always blocked off. But these huge block parties, all the local businesses come out. Restaurants have deals, and like if you buy this from somewhere, you get % off at dinner. And I thought it would be a really good idea to maybe they can go out there and show some of their jewelry, because they also sell jewelry. And that would be a much easier thing to sell than a $40,000 chandelier on the side of the road. But like the block party would be a good idea to get your flyers out for First Friday and even make some money on the side with selling jewelry. And that's it. There. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, questions?
Did you have ongoing communication with them so that you knew there was a potential that they would not accept your presentation?
Yeah, so we would meet with them every week, but it was more they wanted us to do like art fairs and break down what art fairs would be best for them to go to. And then we'd give our input, and it was just get this work done for next week and present what art fairs you think we should go to.
So the art fairs were accepted, but your social media was not?
Yeah,
Is what you're saying.
so we would they would tell us the work to do, and it was basically just do these art fairs, calculate how much it would cost, and which ones would be beneficial for them, and then we'd give our insight, and it was just kind of pushed to the side.
Do they have available people to go to these shows and keep the gallery open?
So they only have like 3 people working at the gallery at once, so they would need to shut down the gallery to go to these art fairs.
That could have a revenue impact.
Yeah.
Did you consider the risk of a virtual tour and a potential break-in?
Excuse me?
Did you consider the risk of having virtual tours, that it would attract thieves, people to break in?
That is a
Steal the art.
possibility. I did not think about that, but yeah, thieves, that could be a possibility. I did not take that into account.
Okay, and did you consider having an art show at Chestnut Hill College? Immaculata has one, Newman has one.
So we brought up the idea of having an art thing like that, but they were looking to target more like upper class sales, so they thought that would not be beneficial towards them, as they're trying to sell like chandeliers for $50,000 and stuff like that.
So they didn't think your parents would buy that, huh?
No.
I totally agree with you when you say it's frustrating when they don't put prices online. They say, call the office or whatever. I hate that. I don't even bother doing that. So I hope that they follow through on that suggestion. With the virtual tours, you said it only costs around $100 or so to create that? And is that then static? Like once it's been done and they change their art, does it have to be redone?
I'm sorry.
With the virtual tour, to create that, it only costs about $100, is that correct?
$100 to $300.
Okay. And once that's done, though, that's the existing art. Once the art changes, do they have to redo it each time?
They would, yes.
Okay, so there's an ongoing cost for that.
Yes, but we don't feel as if that's a huge expense, especially when their pieces of artwork are much larger. And they do say that they make sale at least once a day.
Okay. I love the virtual tour concept, and I'm wondering with the block party, rather than setting up a little display of jewelry, could they set up a large display screen that would actually show the virtual tour? People could come and interactively, go tour the store even though they're not in the store at that time, and potentially attract people to going into the store by doing that.
Yeah, I think the virtual tours to get more people in the door. Like they said, they sell 50% of their revenue comes from jewelry. So getting people in the door just, I feel, can help sell a lot more jewelry.
Just a comment to you. Since they basically rejected your plan except for the art fairs, had you ever considered giving them more detail of how the other galleries, their competitors, deal with the other aspects that you were recommending?
Yeah, we did look at a competition and we presented them with what their competition was doing. And they said they would look into it, but weren't very adamant on pursuing
It
that.
sounds like they were not the easiest client to deal with.
Yeah, it wasn't very
They
easy.
made it rough for you fellas. Yeah. Now, just one other comment. Most of your work and your summarization had to do with the art fairs, and you included that one chart. Had you ever considered that somebody might like to try to read it? I mean, it is minuscule, and I'm sure you put a lot of effort into creating it. You might have displayed it on perhaps 2 pages or something like that. Charts and graphics go well with reviewers, okay? But I can appreciate your client wasn't the easiest to deal with. Thank you. Thank you for all of your effort.
Yeah, I know it's it can get difficult when you have a difficult client, and so I could tell from that energy. The hard part with dealing with artists is that when they feel like their work is being critiqued or anything like that's when it's like their baby, So so that's the hardest part in regarding with that. But I do love the futuristic concept that you guys were more looking for VR, AR type of ordeal, even having like a augmented reality type of gallery, just having like a frame there and then having the glasses and everything. So that's great. That would be a great futuristic ordeal, but they may not even be the artists that would want to do that. So question, did you guys ever talk about like them provide like a residency for any artists inside of their art store in order to be able to kind of help with revenue?
You mean like having artists come in and present
rent-
their work?
No, like a resident, like having like an artist. In certain galleries, they allow some artists to like rent out a certain space where they can be able to either do their work there or just provide provide their
room that
area.
they have
Yeah,
for?
side room.
Yeah, they do have a side room where artists come in and do their art on the side. Yes.
Okay, and that provides, does that generate revenue or do
They
they?
do advertise it in their weekly emails.
Okay, all right. So that's something that
I think they come in on their first Fridays, the artists, and
Okay.
do their art there in
Yeah,
front
'cause-
of
'cause
everybody.
sometimes people block out like a month of a resident, like at a gallery, blocks out a month of just like a certain area where that's their.
Yeah, not for that long, but for the first Fridays, they do come in.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, art, that's a hard part, even with the pricing as well, because some people like having the price there. Some people they rather just come in we can be able to process it and talk about it. Just because once you put a price on it, then that provides the value of that art. And let's just say, if you say this artwork is $30, right? Now this artist is worth $30 on that artwork. So a lot of times, they'd rather discuss it, or if it's a bidding type of ordeal, they'll do it like that. But I think that's probably why they didn't want to have their work out there with just that pricing.
Yeah, we thought it was a really gray area, prices on art, because they told us they don't want to have the prices on artwork because it brings down the value of the artist,
Yeah.
as well as that's what super high-end galleries do. They don't
Absolutely.
They don't have prices, but also from, we're not artists, we're people who study business. Why would you make art to sell artwork, sell what you sell? We just don't.
Yeah. So, because again, in that art world, it is about reputation. You know what I mean? Like if Basquiat draws something on a napkin, that thing's going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? So as an artist, they're continuing try to build up their brand. So putting a price on there, it's just gonna be more offensive to them. So that's probably why there was a lot of again, I don't know what happened, but that's probably why there was some stymied ordeal going from a business mindset to a creative. That's always difficult. That's why they coined the term starving artists, because sometimes they'd rather starve. But good job.
Gentlemen, so I understand that certain clients are gonna sometimes be set in their ways. Learn that early, because like I deal with clients that still want to send me faxes. It's the most annoying thing in the world, but it happens. You will have some of the times the most efficient ideas, and the client is gonna want to take the long way there. It just happens. But when you're in that area, just then do the best job for whatever they desire. In this particular case, I would have liked to know more about the art fairs. What was the revenue potential? Not obviously their financials, but overall our market study. And just for future reference, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. If you're gonna show something, have it readable to the presenters, because both on the paper and on the presentation is illegible. So that was no point, just a list or anything would have been there. But again, to get people excited, what was the revenue potential there? Just do the best job within the range of what the client might like. But overall, you guys did good, okay?
Just one brief comment. I think you guys had a really good marketing strategy. I think some of the things that you recommended to them in terms of digital strategies and whatnot, and the pricing online, I thought was a good idea. Still trying to kind of wrap my head around why they rejected that. Sorry, what was the note I made here? Kind of going back to the prices online and the pushback to that. Did they have like a previous experience of they put it online and felt like it kind of brought down the value of the art, or they kind of wanted it to be a little?
Yeah, they've never had prices on their website. The only thing that they previously did was have photos of all the pieces that they displayed at the time. They never had prices, which I think is a little.
Right.
Which is strange, because if you go in there, they have the price in there listed. It doesn't make sense. If you're going to post it right then and there when you walk in the door, then why not post it online?
And then the virtual reality tours and whatnot, I thought was a pretty good idea for, if someone wanted to come in and view it online. What was kind of the reasoning behind not wanting to change so much with their digital strategy? Did they feel like it was their current business strategy is something that's doing well enough for them, they didn't want to change, or was it just kind of hesitancy to get into that digital realm and maybe make that investment? Like you said, it is something that they would have to continually do if they updated their art. Was that, what was their
My
thought
guess would be
process?
that they're doing well enough with what they're doing, so why change what they're doing?
Thank you.
As I'm listening, it also occurred to me, did they have concern about security or protecting the property in some way, protecting the artwork, since they already have so much on display? Why were they reluctant to some of your recommendations? Did you get it
For
more
this-
detailed sense.
Yeah, for security, they never really brought it up, and honestly, we never even really thought about anything to do with security reasons.
If they were into the fairs and that's all they wanted to do, why didn't you adjust your plan to look at what that would do for their business?
We did look into the fairs and list everything that they asked for the fairs and what the revenue would be, like our projected revenue, and we looked up what other fairs like did at those fairs, what they sold, but we didn't know much. Like, it's hard to get much information out of these fairs. Like, they don't, like, we email them, they don't email back. Like, it's tough situation.
You had a lot of detail with the cost and the tent and what everything did. And if you could look at what is the average return from those, what would they have to do to keep the shop open and still go to the fairs, so that they weren't shutting down one business for another?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could have changed your strategy.
Essentially, with the fairs, they basically gave us a list of things to do, which was almost like homework, it felt like. But like, their profit margin wasn't that big with the fairs because of travel costs, shipping. Their big $40,000 chandeliers isn't easy, and it's also fragile. So, like, that was their main place to sell those big items. So they're not, like, they're only going down with one thing. It's not like they're bringing, like, all the jewelry, because some art fairs you can't bring a jewelry. It's only contemporary art or other art stuff like that.
One last comment. I thought your deck was awesome. It's a great presentation overall. I think, to piggyback off of what everybody's saying, you learned a very valuable lesson. I think your recommendations for a virtual tour is awesome. All your digital recommendations are outstanding, but you're the consultant. So you're going in to speak with a client. You have to execute what the client wants above and beyond, so that then they earn your trust to give them other suggestions, to do more, to go above and beyond. So piggybacking off of everybody else, I think more deeper into that whole area would have been great, because I think you understand it, and I would have loved to see more.
Yeah, I think we definitely should have done a better job of like asserting ourselves in consulting, but I think just right from the jump, they had a different definition of consulting than we did. That's correct.
Okay, you've had time to deliberate, you've had time to think and talk and discuss and argue and whatever, and have you made a decision? Yes. Who would like to, make sure, where's the microphone so it gets?
So I have the honor of that. First, I want to congratulate everyone. All of you did a great job. We can see the work that you put into everything. We all want to mention that this is an amazing opportunity. When I presented my senior sem, it was individual. And we created our idea, we presented it. This gives you a real life scenario. And it's something that you could all learn from, because you will present to clients. You will present to other people in other departments. And you need to come organized, come on time. Present things in an efficient way, so not bombard them with information. So this is a great opportunity. I hope all of you got a lot out of this. Excuse me. Some presentations stood out. We want to, the reasons that they stood out, everybody could be polished, everybody is gonna become better. That's gonna come with time and experience. But we felt that some of them showed a lot of dedication, a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of organizations, and those are the ones that we wanna award the Shark Tank to. The Griffin Tank, sorry. The Griffin Tank. Yeah. So the two teams that we would like to award is to the Antique Gallery and the Barn at Springbrook. Yeah, we got more to say. We got.
Take your picture and then you can call.
Okay.
Here we go. Nelson, Nelson. Nelson. Yeah, she
Come on.
she had to go to work. Yeah.
I remember that one.
Just a picture.
Ready?
Guys. Guys, congratulations. You all did a great work. You have created a great foundation that you guys are going to do great when you're presenting. Any career that you guys go into, you're going to have mishaps. You're going to have people who don't provide information, who don't provide information on time. You just got to be flexible in everything you did. You guys did all a great job. To the barn at Springbrook, we love your passion. We could see that you guys cared. We love that you guys went above and beyond using networking connections. Anything that you can use to be helpful is always a great thing. The presentation was beautiful. We even personally all have like an interest. We're like, oh, I want to go check out this place now. And that's how well you guys did a presentation. So congrats to you. To the Antique Gallery, your paper was one of the most professional ones that I saw. It looked like something that I can see in my day-to-day business. So you guys did a great job there, worked with the client, understood things. My one suggestion I would say, never generalize anything, any ideas. Older people could use technology too. But I also say this because as young people, we get generalized often. You get generalized, sorry, I'm including myself in that. But you will get generalized often as being new people, new entry level, or he doesn't know a lot. And you could probably have a lot of potential to you. So don't do anything to others that you wouldn't want done to yourself as well. Okay, but overall, you guys did a fantastic job. I am rooting for you, and we all want the best for you moving forward. Okay?
So much.
The lateness piece.
Oh, and yes, and again, we're awarding this, but not to say nobody was perfect. To the team that was a little late with their paper, you were awarded this in spite of that. Again, these are real life scenarios. I have been told the day of, hey, this is not gonna happen because I could have made a mistake. Understood? So please take the win, but also take the lessons that come from this. Okay?
Don't leave yet, don't leave. I have.